Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Just giving it a minute while people are joining. Just testing that everything's working. Can you see the screen? And can you also see if and hear us and see us? Um, good, good. Got some thumbs up. We've got the chat feature open. You can, share your thoughts on the chat feature. Anything you'd like to share during the actual webinar itself. But if you want a question answered, do put it in the Q&A box. That so that we don't lose track of the questions itself. Keep it in the Q&A box. And if you could just make sure that the chat's working, if we could put perfect, good. Jalal's mentioned there. So, we'll give it a few more seconds. We'll start, inshallah. We've got Sheikh Farid with us today as well. Alhamdulillah.
ورحمة الله.
Jazakallah khairan for making
الله
it to Sheikh.
بارك الله فيكم.
Okay, 5 more seconds. And we shall begin. بسم الله الحمد لله الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. But Jazakallah khairan everybody for joining today. It's about phase two. It's about the sales strategy. It's about looking at the next phases for booking your Hajj, inshallah. But also it's an opportunity for us to talk about, what happened. There's a couple of things that we can share here. And hopefully we can improve and go forwards in the packages that we have. We've got some new packages that we'll announce later on. So if I make a start, inshallah. So on phase one, what happened? What happened on phase one? It happened on Sunday, 1st of February, and the queue system was implemented for the first time. It was implemented properly for the first time this year. As we saw, we saw the times went from waiting time from 1 minute, and then all of a sudden it went after Hajj, and then it came back to 16 hours, and it was fluctuating. But there was a queue system. So the moment that a system allowed us to go in, we were able to enter the actual Nusuk system itself. On the day, 30,000 plus managed to book. Now, that's not just for the UK, it's global. So there were people from America, there were people from other countries that they managed to book their Hajj. And of course, some of them were from the UK as well. And post queue, the system was stable. So in our quota, in what happened was in the UK itself, we reached our visa quota. It didn't mean that the packages were gone. It was just the quota for how many visas they would issue to the UK was sold out, and that was within 40 minutes. And Nusuk have confirmed that there will be more places available, inshallah, for phase two and potentially phase three as well, inshallah. Inshallah. So enough from me. Sheikh Farid, over to you, inshallah. Yes.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا الكريم. How are you all, my dear brothers and sisters? Hope you're well, inshallah. Uh, what do you think, Shafiq? Are we able to know how many? Is it more likely that majority of people here haven't got through? Just to understand the audience.
Yeah, the people here, all the people that are attending now are the people that are waiting phase two to book
Only
their.
phase two.
Inshallah.
Okay. Okay. In that case, maybe it's just good to speak about a way for us to reconnect, reconstruct where we are right now. You know, you waited to come into this Zoom meeting, right? So we're still in the waiting room for Hajj itself. Yeah. And perhaps the most important thing to think about is that concept of tawakkul in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, having that trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's helpful because many times we speak about concepts and we don't drill down into some of its key components. So maybe if you don't mind, I'll share with you just a way to break down the idea of trust in Allah and having that tawakkul in a way which helps you now and helps you generally, because the tawakkul is a essential matter that believers need to have in their lives. Okay, it's so important, it sustains them. So when you look at that, the concept of tawakkul, a word which I'm sure all of us know, and use, you'll see that the primary component, it all begins first of all with having good thoughts about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. Husnul dhan billah azza wa jal. That's your starting point. Yeah. It's not an outcome. It's not if something comes the way I wanted that I then have good thoughts about Allah. No, a believer always has good thoughts about Allah. It is not something just about having optimism or being in denial or something like this, right? No, it's an aqidah, mandatory part of your belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not just in a technical way, it's what fuels you, gives life to your heart, gives meaning to your struggles, right? So it's about what you assume about Allah before any outcome appears, whether it's one you want or one you don't want, right? Uh, so it's whether you believe, you know, is Allah for you or against you? You know? Is Allah wise even when you don't see wisdom in something? Is Allah still generous, even it seems like something's been withheld? This is part of tawakkul, right? So it's critical. Yeah, it's critical. Another component connected to the breaking down what the reality of tawakkul is to have a kind of inner assurance in your heart in Allah's decree, actual decree and wisdom, right? So that first one is what you think about Allah, right? Concerning Him Himself. This component of tawakkul is concerned what Allah does. The first one is how would you believe about Allah Himself, and this is what you believe and how the heart is connected to what He actually does, right? And tawakkul doesn't mean here force yourself to like any and every decree, right? Uh, it means to be not internally at war with it, yeah, because Allah Jalla is al-Hakim, He's Alim, He's wise, and He always decrees what is khair. Okay, so you won't have things like why me, why not me? Uh, you play less on alternate realities, that didn't, manifest themselves. There's less resentment. So there's an ease within the heart about what Allah Jalla does. Then the third one is part of tawakkul, as I'm sure you can appreciate when I say it, is letting go of the illusion of control. You know, this is you plan, you try to do what you can, do what is required, but you have a responsibility to do something. Allah has mandated Hajj upon you as one of the major pillars of Islam. You're responsible to try and deliver on that. But can you control that it will actually happen? No. So you put in effort. Okay, you put in effort. You put in planning, right? But that effort, you're not obsessive in the way that you believe you have control. Yeah. So tawakkul, it collapses when a person thinks, if I don't hold this together, yeah, I'm responsible. I'm the one who can actually control things, right? No. Tawakkul very much is connected to knowing that Allah Jalla is the one who's in control and He decrees. Then the fourth one is what you have been doing and what you're here for, right? Manifestation of that, which is to take the necessary means, right? That's the outer expression of tawakkul, right? So, there's a there's a stillness in the heart connected to the idea that Allah Jalla, you think good of Him, you think good of His actions, you know He's in control, but then there's actions of the limbs. You do everything you can to achieve an outcome which Allah Jalla wants you to try and achieve. So just a few points, right, brothers and sisters, applies to us throughout our lives. It applies to us here. And this whole journey, this whole attempt, whether you're able to go this year or not able to go this year, all of it is part of the ubudiyah. All of it is part of worshiping Allah. Don't just think that the actual Hajj is worship. This is worship itself, what you're doing, right? So if your attention is pure for Allah, you're actually worshiping Allah in all these activities. And the one who desires to do something and is prevented from doing it without any choice of their own is as if they have done it. So what more do you want? You'll never lose out before Allah. So just some words for reflection, inshallah. Hand it back to you, Ashfiq.
Jazakallah khairan, Shaykh. And Jazakallah
Yeah.
khairan for those 4 points about the husn al-dhan, feeling our hearts connected, letting go of the illusion of control. I think when you mentioned the letting go of the illusion of control, sometimes we struggle with that because we live in metropoles. When we got everything is just in time, we just order something online, even food comes to
Mhm.
you, or we get places, everything's so connected. I mean, if we do, it's a bit of a far-fetched comparison, but like a farmer, they have so much tawakkul that the things would grow, that the animals would eat, but in this
Yeah.
digital where we're using a digital system, yeah, I can just press the button and I'll book. So I think there's a question. There's a question from someone here, but yeah, I think there's an element. Sometimes we feel that should booking Hajj be a test? How should we feel going into it? We feel like it's Zagbada, like you mentioned. How do I control my heart going into this thing? I'm going for
Yeah.
it 100%. I believe well in Allah. As a summary of that.
As I said, those key components are critical. So everything is a test. Everything's a test. And sometimes tests have been designed for us in a digital format, right? It's out of our control. But the key thing is still um, Allah Jalla wants you to combine between belief and action. So somebody who just has the idea of trusting in Allah but doesn't act, then that is problematic. On the flip side, somebody who acts and thinks it's their actions alone that delivers without any reliance upon Allah, that is problematic as well. It's the combination of the two, which is, the real manifestation of what it means to be a believer in Allah and rely upon Him.
Mm. Jazakallah khairan. So, a question that we have here was that the person says, it was really hard not to be upset on the day. I felt guilty having these feelings and felt like Allah doesn't want us to go. Is there is there any du'as and supplications we can read in these situations?
So differentiate between feeling sad. Allah's not saying to you, don't never feel sad. Okay. And if you don't, something of khair you're trying to do and you're prevented from it, right? It's a test. Yeah. The messengers and the prophets were tested the most with difficult things, right? While they're trying to establish Allah's law on the land. Okay. Allah's testing to see your response, uh, whether you are blessed or whether you are tested, put to trial, right? Both are actually tests. When Allah blesses you, you're actually being tested. So if somebody got through round one, you're being tested, right? Allah wants to see the shukr. How does the gratitude manifest upon your tongue, in your heart, in your actions, right? If you are tested via trial, Allah wants to see what kind of sabr you have. But it doesn't mean we're like robots. We can't feel. We can't feel disappointment. The key thing is that shouldn't lead to incorrect perceptions, incorrect beliefs, like saying, maybe Allah doesn't like me, maybe I'm not worthy of His mercy. No, this is shaitanic. Yeah. Allah Jalala loves any believer who is turning to Him and trying to achieve something that He has mandated, right? So not being able to go is no proof whatsoever of the idea that Allah doesn't like you. And as a contrast, we have to be careful. Being accepted, okay, likewise, is not necessarily a proof that Allah fully loves you. But inshallah, we have the optimism, right? A believer always combines between fear and hope, right? Fear and hope. So the idea of the simple acceptance or rejection in the application on a digital format, it's not a sign for that at all. Okay. So key thing is, you know, form right perceptions about experiences you have. And the Prophet ﷺ has said, the affair of the believer, all of it is khair and is only for the believer. If he is tested, he is patient, and that is khair for him. If he's blessed, he is grateful, and that is khair for him. So it's never the predicament, were you accepted or not? It's the response. Are you grateful or are you patient and have sabr?
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah khairan, Sheikh. Really
Yeah.
appreciate
SubhanAllah,
it.
Sheikh. I was just thinking of the incident of Hudaybiyah and how even the Prophet ﷺ and the companions went all the way to the borders of Mecca to make Umrah and they were rejected. Obviously it's a different scenario in terms of
Wow.
through a system or not through a system. But when you think
Well, a
about it,
fantastic analogy in this.
yeah,
Well, if I haven't heard this one for this
mm,
kind of thing. It's a fantastic analogy. Yunus is speaking about the 6 year of Hijrah and the Prophet setting off for Umrah. Imagine setting off for Umrah, right? Not necessarily via the digital platform Nusuk, but it's a Nusuk they're trying, right? And with the believers, and then they stop in Al Hudaybiyah, and imagine they don't get to go. They don't get to go, and they're so upset. It's a tremendous incident that has so many things we can think of. But what does Allah reveal there? Yeah, Al-Fath, Surah Al-Fath. The meaning of the word Fath is a victory. Yeah, and we later understood why it was a victory, right? So the hikmah of Allah Jalla ala, have no shak. There's no doubt that Allah is wise, and when He decrees, there's khair in it. So seek that and be connected to that.
Inshallah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. I think there's a comment here. Be content in all situations. The very fact that we have the finances but still couldn't get through phase one, our hearts should be contented in our, in all times. That
Yeah,
Allah has facilitated for some and not for some.
yeah.
However,
Also,
there is
also,
no difference in
yeah.
Allah's eyes.
Remember, you just mentioning hadith there. The hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned four types of people, and one of those types, he says, a person whom Allah, okay, gave knowledge but not wealth, or a person whom Allah, okay, and they weren't able to spend like the way another person spent. Same way. The Prophet said they have the same ajr. In other words, it's your intention. If you really are sincere, brothers and sisters, take heart in this. If you really are sincere to do Hajj and you don't get to go, it will be written as if you did it. Yeah, this is how our deen works. Allahu Akbar.
Can I ask you one question, Sheikh, while we have you? Just one question.
Yeah.
On the day itself, before Nusuk opens and everything, what preparations can we do spiritually and practically for that in terms of like, du'as, or is there anything that we can do on the day, let's say it's in 3 hours time. What can I do when I wake up and trying to prepare for it? Is there anything that you would say practically advice?
Just any dua. The dua from the heart in these times is the most influential, right? Don't there's no specific dua for that kind of scenario, but you could make certain duas that maybe are connected to it. Or Allah, there's nothing, no easy unless in which way you make ease, and you make the difficult thing easy. So make it easy. You can just say things like this, right? From the Sunnah, or just pour your heart out to Allah. Okay, and that's what's important. And remember the point I made, please, brothers and sisters. All of that is worship. So it's not just about that act of worship in Hajj. All of this, if your intention is sincere and is connected to wanting to please Allah, Allah is rewarding you right now as if you're worshipping Him. Yeah. Our deen, subhanAllah, it's so rich in the sense of opportunity that is non-stop for the believer to reap khair, which Allah is pleased with. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah khairan, Sheikh. Really appreciate it.
Barakallahu.
Appreciate your time. I don't think there's any comments right now. People are a little
Well,
bit
we're
anxious.
still here. We're still here. If anybody wants to take the mic and speak, let them do that, Shafiq.
Yeah, if anyone would like to ask Sheikh a question or have a comment, they can put their hand up, inshallah, and we can unmute you. Uh, or if you want to share something, yeah, with someone here. I think it's Zahid. Bear with me 1 second. There you go. You should be able to unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Fareed Zahid.
Salam rahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yes, I just wanted to say that, alhamdulillah, we're all trying, inshallah, to be there. But the compared to the old style system of booking, the when we used to say to the Hajjaj that you have to be very patient with the bookings, and when you get into Saudi, that sabr kind of borders extended now all the way to where you're sitting at in your own houses now, clicking away on the screens, trying to get a
Yeah,
package.
yeah,
But in all situations, we just have to be patient and content that whatever's happening is what Allah has decreed best for us.
yeah. Without doubt, Jazakallah khair. Without doubt, without doubt. And the Prophet would say, وَالشَّرُّ لَيْسَ إِلَيْكَ. Yeah. No harm or evil can be attributed to you. Yeah. So Allah's act of decreeing all of it is khair.
Because I was trying, and my daughter was pushing me. I mean, the last time I went was with you guys as a volunteer.
Okay.
When with the Mana, back in the days.
Yeah.
And my daughter's been pushing me, and I was like, okay, let's start the progress. Let's see what happens. Let's have tawakkul. Let's tie our camel down and leave the decision to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We can knock on the door as much as we want, but until the door doesn't open, you can't go through.
So, and this is and like I said, the point is, let's be careful about reading meaning in the door being opened or not for a believer.
Yeah, but in a positive way, not in a negative way.
Yeah, yeah. This is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Jazakallah khairan. We'll take one more person, and then I know everybody wants to know some information about how to book, so we'll have one more person. Asjid, I have here. You can unmute yourself.
Yes,
Salam.
we were not successful in the first round, and we wanted to know, we have a British passport. Can we apply in the second round and the third round? And also, what sort are we going to be left with the most expensive packages?
Khair. Good questions. So the questions that you're asking, we're about to run through them. We were just at this stage just taking some question for Sheikh Farid in regards to the reminder that he just gave us, but we will come to your question because we also saw it in the Q&A box as well. So if anyone's got any further questions, put them in the Q&A box, and we'll go through that through the next, there's about 2 or 3 slides that we'll go through, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan. So Jazakumullah khairan, Sheikh. We really appreciate it.
Barakallahu feek. I'm here, inshallah, anyway, throughout.
Inshallah. If anybody's got any further questions for Sheikh Farid, do put them in the Q&A and we will come back through to them, and Sheikh Farid will be with us, inshallah. I will now hand over to Yunus. You should be able to control the slides from where you are.
Yep, I can. Can you hear me loud and clear? No, is that okay?
It's a little bit faint, but we can hear you.
Inshallah, it'll be okay. Okay, so in preparation for phase 2, so today we're going to just try and cover all the information that we've kind of gathered over the last few days with Rawaf and from other places as well, wherever we could. And we're just trying to give you as much information as possible, and try and update you with what we know, so that you can be prepared for the upcoming phases, inshallah ta'ala. So the first thing that we've learned is that inshallah there will be more phases. You probably all saw the tweet by Nusuk and by the Ministry of Hajj saying that more phases are to come and more packages will be released and more places will be released. We're expecting, from all the chatter and from everyone saying, also what happened last year and the year before, the actual capacity for the UK, I'm just going to focus on the UK for now, will double. So currently, I think 3,800 pilgrims were able to book. Last year, in the end, it was between just under 7,000 were able to book, and we're expecting that to be slightly higher this year to maybe just over 7,000, if not more. So there is chatter about okay, it might actually be more than that, but at least they're expecting that number to double. So the people who manage to book, obviously, if you take them out, so then alhamdulillah, the chances get more. There's no confirmed date or time for the next phase, whatever the next phase is. Basically, there's been no confirmed date or time. There's some chatter was that it was going to be after 5 days. That's what we were initially told, and then Now there's some, that it might be on the weekend, on Sunday again, 7 days after the first round of bookings. But the reality is that no one knows for sure. No one knows for sure. These decisions come from high, then they get lower, lower, lower until they come down to, us basically. So, Rawaf don't know, none of the other companies know for sure. Okay, what dates? People are speculating, people are speaking to people within the Ministry of Hajj and within Nusuk to try and get some kind of ideas, and it's all speculation until we get an official kind of announcement. We don't know. On the other hand, some places are becoming available. So what happens is once you book a package on Rawaf, you have 72 hours where you can cancel for free, basically. So if someone's, circumstances have changed or something's happened, they managed to book and something's happened, so they'll cancel and that place then suddenly becomes available because that's from the initial quota. So that's why you'll see that every now and then, like yesterday, or I think maybe earlier this morning, Rawaf announced, oh, check because one person was able to, like a couple were able to book from from America basically. So someone must have cancelled America. A package came available. Anyone who's on the system at that time will suddenly see place available. They'll click it and they're able to purchase. So do keep an eye out, on Nusuk every now and then. Don't go, OTT on it. Don't stay on it all the time. But just every now and then, whenever you get a chance, give it log in, have a look around, just see what's going on. And you never know. Places have been getting sold from different places. So it's worth, having a look and just keeping an eye on that. What you should do now. So the most important thing, if you weren't able to, obviously most people here probably were not able to purchase in the phase one. Choose your packages. So look at, okay, what packages that you want to go for, what kind of package you want to go for. Most people are providing information now on what packages are available, how many packages are available for each, or how many places are available on each package. Once you know that, top up your e-wallet if it needs topping up. So obviously, if the package you're going to go for is more expensive, then you might need to top up your e-wallet. If you are, for example, going to go for a custom flight now because some of the group flights have been sold out, just maybe top up your e-wallet a bit more. But just today I've been speaking to 2 or 3 of the Hujjaj who did manage to book up in phase one and who booked with custom flights, and they all said they found they got the custom flights cheaper than the group flights. They got the custom flights cheaper. In fact, one of the guys that I work with, he managed to secure a package on the weekend, and he said he paid about £1,000 less on the custom flight than he would have paid on a group flight if he had chosen the group flight. So something to keep in mind, just something to consider that but have your wallet topped up, because you don't want to be in a scenario where you go through Nusuk and you get to the last page and your custom flight is more expensive, or you're short of £100 or £200, and then you need to go back around the whole loop of taking the package out of your basket, topping up your e-wallet and reconfiguring the package, and then topping up, and going through the purchase process. So just keep that all in mind. Have your e-wallet topped up. Don't go crazy on it. Don't top up, £5,000 extra, etc. Just maybe a little bit, just to be ready once the Nusuk system re-engages. Be ready, stay calm. Like what Sheikh Fareed explained, and that's why it was so important for us to hear the words beforehand. At the end of the day, it's a test from Allah. It's something that we shouldn't be over stressed about. Definitely, we will feel a bit deflated. We'll feel a bit down, but at the end of the day, we know it's a test from Allah. Keep asking Allah, making du'a, and inshallah, it will come. In terms of packages which are available, so from the packages that we initially supported and some more that we've added on here, this is just to give you some numbers. Like we've mentioned on the groups, Rawaf are over 16 packages which are still available. The 162, we've got 90 plus places available. The 201 has got 25 plus places. 202's got 40 plus places. 403's got 25 plus places, and the 404 has got 60 plus places. All the major camp spaces are actually sold out. So even if you're when you're configuring, if that, it shouldn't give you the option, but if it does give you the option, I would not go for that. And go for the same rules as before. The quad basis is where the most availability is, and You can see some of the packages here and some other packages. If these packages don't work for you, you can contact us and we'll try and give you details of other packages. Now, the key kind of distinguishing factor is that not when we say there's 90 places left on 162, it doesn't mean there's 90 flights, group flights available on 162. So, the group flights are much less because group flights got sold out quite quickly. So you might need to go for custom flights. You should see that when you're going for, when you're going to be able to configure your package, you should be able to see that when you're going through the configuration process, and you'll know at that stage. Now, the good news is, alhamdulillah, this year actually the custom flight system was much, much better than previous years. So that meant people were able to go in, they were able to do the custom flight process quite quickly and choose their flight and then move on to the next phase. So just keep that in mind, inshallah. So if you manage to log in, you should be able to just pick a custom flight if you want a package where there's no group flights available, and you should be able to go through to check out your package. If you do choose a group flight, for example, and by the time you get to checkout, it says flight not available or flight sold out, you're gonna have to just reconfigure your package and go back around the loop and then choose custom flights, inshallah. So just keep that in mind, just understand that, so that will give you some kind of ideas. At the bottom it says Rawaf has the largest allocation, so this is where this becomes quite critical. So someone, for example, a company had, for example, 6,000 places. They might have sold 5,500 and only got 500 left. A company with the largest allocations like Rawaf, they would have much more places left. So again, something to consider when you're going through this process of choosing which company, which package to choose, for the next phases, inshallah. What will work? Some things that we learned from phase. So we learned some lessons from phase one, but as we saw with phase one, expect unexpected. So last 3 years at 12 o'clock, they would always log everyone out. And this year they didn't log people out, basically. They would always start on time, 12 o'clock, the time. This year they started about 20 minutes later. So, although we've got some lessons that we've learned from phase one, I would say just be ready for the unexpected. And the unexpected could mean a number of things. Suddenly, we don't get early notice on the phase. They tell us the night before, and next morning we've got to go through it. So some of the lessons that we learned is that, this time we're advising people do log in early. So if we find out the phase is, for example, at 12 o'clock tomorrow, try and log in as early as possible. Maybe after Fajr, just log in and just stay on Nusuk. Some people did that. They logged in about 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and they just thought, let's just stay on there and let's just see what happens, expecting to be logged out. And they actually managed to just go through that process and do the purchase. The second one is help others once you've completed your purchase. Something that worked well, some of our Hajjaj did it and others spoke about it as well, is that once a person makes the purchase, if you're on our group, just say, look, I've made my purchase, I'm on Nusuk. If someone hasn't managed to log in, I can help them, and what you'll be able to do is, if they give you their login details, you'll be able to log in because you're already past the queue phase. So you'll be able to log in and help someone else do a purchase. So you might get reward for their Hajj as well as your own Hajj. So something which is useful to do. And even if you're on our group, then at that stage, if you haven't been able to log in, just send a reminder. Like if anyone has managed to log in and they've completed their purchase, please contact me, and you can contact each other privately and go through that and to do that. Obviously, the most important thing, make dua. It's not in anyone's hands, it's in Allah's hands. So do make dua and make sure that your remembrance of Allah and dua is constantly a constant throughout the whole process, inshallah. Key things: don't remove your money from the e-wallet. Obviously, if you're planning to go this year, don't remove your e-wallet. Again, that could cause they might not allow you to re-top it up, and also it might take a few days, and once in that process, your account's kind of locked. Check Nusuk regularly. So do log in regularly, be ready, and just have a look. Like we mentioned, we will announce as soon as we hear anything. But you should also just have that habit. Like we said, some packages might just come available, and you're able to, make that purchase. Be ready. It could happen anytime, so just keep an eye out on the WhatsApp groups and just on, so that we can notify you as soon as possible and make dua. what's happening at the moment. So, I didn't kind of give a summary of, okay, where we are at the moment and what's actually happening at the moment. So, Nusuk opened up for phase one, and they sold 35 odd thousand packages basically. So, then packages were sold, and then they kind of closed the system now. While they close the system, they're giving 72 hours for people who want to cancel, so they're able to cancel, and they're allowing for themselves to reset, to gather all the data, to make sure to have a look at what packages are available. They're allowing the companies to kind of tidy up their data and to make sure that everyone's ready. And during this phase, they're allowing Hujjaj to log in, check packages, but not actually configure or do anything else apart from that, basically. So that's why you see all the packages say sold out, and they're all kind of blacked out, basically. So you can log in and you can have a look at the packages, but you can't actually configure or do anything else. What will happen is once they've finished this area, they will then reopen the packages for configuration. Now, there's been some chatter from the start of today or maybe late last night that phase two will be for some countries only and not necessarily for the UK or other countries like France, UK, America that sold out very quickly. So the reality is no one knows for sure. Again, this is just chatter. What happened last year is, so last 2 years, so 2024, which was 2 years ago, phase one was open to everyone, and then phase two was open to everyone, and then phase three was open to everyone. So there was 3 phases. It was open to everyone at each stage, and people were able to book up. Last year, phase one was only open to certain countries. So it was open to the UK, France, America, countries that sell out very quickly. And then phase two was open to those countries that don't sell out very quickly, basically. And it wasn't open up to countries that sell out very quickly. This year, phase one was open up to all countries again. So, the expectation from Rawaf and everyone else is that actually phase two will be open up to everyone. Again, basically, it won't be specific to countries that didn't get phase one, because everyone got phase one. Like we said, is expect the unexpected. We don't know. No one knows for sure. It's just chatter. People are talking. Sometimes they are talking to people in Nusuk, some of the workers there, maybe some of someone in Ministry of Hajj, and but no decision has been made. When a decision's made, or there's no decision that's been made that's been officially communicated to anyone, basically. And once that decision is made, it will be officially communicated to the companies like Rawaf and so on. Initially, first, they will tell us, and we will forward on that information, and they will also announce it on their Twitter or X platforms, and they'll probably email us as well, saying to all the Hujjaj, saying, okay, look, phase two will open, like they did, similar to what they did with phase one, inshallah. So just keep that in mind. There is going to be conflicting information. People are going to be saying something. If it's official and we know for sure, we will tell you. If it's something which is unofficial and we're not sure, we will mention that, look, this news is going around. We're not 100% sure if it's correct or not, so that you can, make a call on that yourself, how you want to, process with that particular news, basically. So just keep that in mind. It is, there is a bit of information blackout. It is, a time where, sometimes waiting and not knowing is actually worse than knowing that I haven't got a package or I have got a package. We understand that, but it's all a part of this journey that we're going on. It's all a part of, the Hajj journey. And for those people who have been Hajj before, you'll know during Hajj, a lot of this happens. Like a lot of, you've got there, sometimes you're waiting in queues, you're waiting for a bus to arrive, you're waiting on a bus to move. So, waiting is a huge part of the Hajj test. So, be patient, inshallah, the information will come. As soon as it comes, we are constantly in contact with Rawaf and with other partners as well, just to try and get information. As soon as we get information, we will notify you straight away, and we will try and help you as much as possible to get your booking completed and over the line, inshallah ta'ala. So I like normal, we are here to support you. We will obviously, we've got this webinar today. As soon as we find out any other information, we will try to organize a webinar to answer your questions. In the meantime, you can get in touch with us on WhatsApp. Through the WhatsApp, you've probably seen our contact information on the WhatsApp communities. You can obviously always email us or call us as well if you want to have a chat and just to try and understand anything further, or if you've got any, like you're not sure, you just want some reassurance, we're here to support you, inshallah. And as soon as we find out, we will then speak about, okay, what steps to take and how to do different things, inshallah, to get us over the line, inshallah ta'ala.
Jazakallah khairan, Yunus. We've got quite a few questions that have come in. Some of them are very similar, and we will go through all of them, inshallah, to answer your questions. So, uh, stop the screen share. And right. So, I think the first one we pretty much answered. Assalamu alaikum. I'm trying to figure out how much more flights will cost on top of the cost of the package. Will there still be packages available for in zone A/B?
Yeah, so there are packages available in Zone A. Zone A is closest to the Haram, so luxury packages, and there's also premium packages available, which is Zone B. So if you wanted a premium one, there's shifting, there's non-shifting. To be honest with you, all types of packages are available. The only one which actually sold out very, very quickly was the Rawaf Express package, that luxury express package, which was I think 10 days or 11 days. That one got sold out very quickly. Apart from that, there's all the packages are available, all types of packages are available, and you should be able to find the packages. In terms of the price of flights, so if you're going for a package which has got a Saudi Airlines group flight, you're looking at about £2,300, in terms of the cost of the flight per person. And if you're looking for group flight, which is not Saudi Airlines flight, then you're looking at around the 2,000 mark. Some are cheaper, 1,500. Some are, around 2,000. If you're looking for a custom flight, again, you're looking at between the 1,500 mark and the 2,000 mark in total, inshallah ta'ala. Yeah.
Wow. A couple of questions are very similar, but
Yeah.
slightly different in terms of the answers. Are the packages the same phase one or are they different? And then the next question was, can you apply in round 2 and round 3 if you have a British passport?
Yeah, so the first one, so just to go back to the first question, so also remember, don't panic about being able to see the prices at this stage, because once you configure, you'll be able to see the prices at that stage anyway, the flight prices, and you'll be able to see custom flight prices. So you'll be able to get a better idea of the kind of exact flight prices, for each different for the package, for any particular package, basically. In terms of are the packages the same for as round 1? Yes, they are. But if a package is sold out, then obviously that's not going to be available. But all the other packages will be available that have got availability. And like we said, if you go on to Nusuk and just have a look around, and if you've got a particular package which is not one of the 4 or 5 that we've put onto our group, and we've given the availability on, like how many are available of each one, then you can contact us and we will try and get that information from you, from Rawaf, basically, of how many packages are available in a particular, on a particular, how many places are available on a particular package. In regards to can a British national book, book in phase 2? So, like I said, we don't know for sure, but we're expecting that yes, the phase 2 will be open to UK and to all countries. But last year it wasn't. It was, phase 3 was open to all countries, and phase 2 was open to a very few limited countries, basically. The reality is no one knows. If someone says, yeah, we know for sure, actually, that's not correct, because Nusuk haven't announced it, or, and the Ministry of Hajj haven't announced this yet, officially haven't announced it. So no one knows for sure.
So then, in essence, will there be at least one other phase we can purchase a
Yeah,
package?
Rawaf have been told, and we've been told by them that there will definitely be, definitely be more phases that where the UK can purchase. Look, from what we understand, from the UK packages that are available. So this is like the companies that have got packages on Nusuk, that they've paid the hotels, they've paid for flights, etc. There's at least 3 or 4,000 packages that are available still, that they've paid for, basically. This is not including packages in the USA where there's another, 3 or 4,000. And so when you add all them packages have to be sold, because otherwise these companies will make huge losses, and it will cause chaos for them, basically. So they've been told that definitely all the packages will be sold, and therefore there will definitely be other rounds. And in fact, Rawaf, you were telling us, and they've been saying on their webinars that actually they expect there to be around 3, around 2, 3, 4, and maybe even around 5, basically, because they're saying that Nusuk have told them every package will get sold out this year, inshallah. So we're quite confident, they're confident, we're confident that definitely there will be an opportunity for everyone. And even if that second opportunity doesn't goes, there should be other opportunities as well. again, let me just rephrase my, my disclaimer, which is at the end of the day, Allah knows best. This is all based on information which is going back and forward, and changes do happen. So, for example, even if Nusuk have said, yeah, we're going to do it, someone could make a call somewhere and say, actually cut it all, and things could get cut. 2023 was different, 2024 was different, 2025 it was different, and so we're not expecting that there's a pattern that we're following each year basically. Last year, all the companies, the Rawaf and all these other big companies, they were expecting the same pattern as 2024, and it was totally different. It just totally changed. Now they've been given assurances that no, don't worry, it will be similar to 2024, because last year a lot of these companies made huge losses and so on, and they've been given assurances. At the end of the day, assurances, Allah knows best, how accurate they are. Will they stand or will they, fall? Allah knows best, but we, like we say, we're positive. The news we're getting is very positive that it definitely will happen. There's going to be a good number. It's not going to be like 100 packages or 200 packages. No, it's going to be a huge number, 3 or 4,000, at least, that will be sold from the UK. We just need to be ready. We need to be ready because them packages are going to be open to everyone. We need to be ready to to purchase, inshallah. Yep.
So we've got 3,000-4,000 packages, whether they do it on 1 day, 2 days,
Yep.
there will be a sale, inshallah. And
Inshallah.
bonus point is that because people have already secured packages, the system should be less busy. We should be able to get in. We should be able to secure packages, inshallah. And
Exactly that. Yeah.
because I think for the last few years that round one, round two, the same numbers of people managed to book the package, but they found phase two a lot easier to buy.
Much easier. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. By the way, we had the same pattern, and I've been speaking to other, companies and organizations, and most of them have had the same pattern where last year it happened, this year it's happened again, where about 50% of their Hujjaj managed to book, and another 50% managed to book. Like last year, they managed to book in phase two, which was phase three last year. But next phase, that was the bookings were open, and a similar pattern is happening this year as well, basically. And the 2024, it was less than 50% managed to book in phase one, and then huge numbers managed to book in phase two and phase three. At the end, and but in 2024, I mean, like Rawaf and these guys will tell us that they were in the end there was packages left over that because Hujjaj had taken their money out of Nusuk and had like kind of in essence deactivated their accounts. There was actually packages left over at the end, that weren't sold because there was no Hujjaj, wanting to buy them basically. So that's why they're emphasizing and re-emphasizing, please, whatever happens, don't take your money out, don't lose hope, because until they tell us that khalas, there's no more packages being sold this year, we carry on, and we stick to it, inshallah.
And I think that the key issue was that they took their money out, but they weren't able to put it back in because Nusuk said we are not allowing money to go back in again. So
that's right, yeah, exactly. Their account kind of goes into a limbo, a locked limbo, so they weren't able to reactivate their account. Yeah.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khairan. Questions about, you mentioned about group flights and individual flights. So how can we see if group flights are sold out or not?
Yeah. So on the group, we've put a link to a Power BI, spreadsheet that gives you details of what group. So you can just sift by UK, at the top, and it'll show you the group flights that are available. Maybe we can share that on the screen as well, Shafiq, just to give everyone a demo of it. If you've got access to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have access to.
Yeah, see, maybe that's something. So that's the best way to see. So you can look at all the package numbers, and it'll tell you, for example, this has got 10 flights left, or this has got 20 flights left. Remember, brothers and sisters, this is not the number of spaces left on the package. This is talking about the number of seats, flight seats that are group flights that are available. So you've still got the option of booking them particular packages with custom flights, and that's an option. And what happens with custom flights is you'll get on the flight from the UK. By the way, you can sometimes choose, like I say, flights which are cheaper, which are more suited to your dates, and better connections and so on. And once you arrive in Jeddah, Rawaf or Medina, Rawaf will meet you, and they will, get your transport to the hotel, and then you join the group as normal, basically. It's as if you're traveling, normally to Umrah or something like this. You'll get to Jeddah, and they'll put you into, they'll get you to your hotel. Rawaf, and all the companies have representatives at the airports during the Hajj period, and they will get you to the hotel, inshallah. Yep.
I think someone mentioned that there's another question here regarding talking about flights itself. If you're doing a custom flight, but it's not quite matching with the package dates,
Yeah.
you panic and you're
So
rushing.
when you're choosing a custom flight, they won't let you book outside of your package dates, basically. So if you can book it, it should be fine, inshallah. Yeah. So that's the key. That the system doesn't allow you. So if you try to book, for example, imagine your package is from the 21st of May to the 3rd of June. If you try to book 21st of May to the 4th of June, it's going to say you can't book this flight. The system will stop you from booking the flight. Or if you try to book 20th of May to the 3rd of June, the system will stop you from booking the flight. Yeah. So just keep it within the package dates and you'll be fine. So because that means that they want you in the country after your package is available, or just about when your package is available, and they want you out of the country, before your package is you're not available, basically. So because packages can't be adjusted. So Rawaf, they can't change, it's group bookings, they can't change your hotel, add an extra day or take away an extra day or do anything like that. So packages are fixed and you need to make sure that your group flight is within the actual package dates, inshallah. Yep.
Inshallah, this is the spreadsheet that Yunus was talking about.
Yep.
Can you see that on the screen? If you give me a thumbs up, if you can see
Yeah,
it on.
we could say, yeah.
So
Just
this,
sift by country, Shafiq, yeah.
yep. So we do in England.
Yep.
And there's these two packages here.
No, try United Kingdom. I think there might be a United Kingdom, so I don't know why they've done England there.
I
Go
say
down.
people in Scotland.
Yeah, there it is, United Kingdom, yeah. And you could pick England as well because I think they had the Birmingham flights there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mauritius? No, we're not doing that.
Mauritius. So that's your normal.
But it only gives it.
Only shows one at a time. Yeah. So you can look at, so you can, you can sort by, you can filter by country. So you've got United Kingdom, you've got England there as well. And that will show you all the packages. So as you can see on the third column, just highlight the third column there for me, Shafiq, please, where it says remaining seats. So that'll tell you how many seats are remaining, group seats are remaining on that particular package. So as you can see, the Rawaf 201 has got no seats, the 202 has got no seats, the 403 has got no seats, the 102 has got one seat, and so on and so on, basically. So you can see the number of seats.
These are
Sorry?
the seats for the group flights. This is for the group
Exactly, yeah, that's
itself.
right, yeah.
So
So this
if
is not
I-
this is not the number of places that are left on this particular package. So you might see, for example, 201 has got no seats, but it's got 50 odd places, available. And we can give you that information of how many actual places there are available on a particular package. If, we've already given some on the group. And if you need more, we can give you that, you can contact us and we'll try and give you that information as much as possible. So you can use this to kind of determine if you definitely want to go by group flight, look for a package where there are some availability. I wouldn't go for the ones and twos because it's just too high risk. Try to go for at least where there's the 11 and over probably is the safest. Obviously the more that there is available, that's fine. You could go for group flight as your option one, and then if it's not available, you're ready to go through the custom process and get that done, inshallah. Yeah, for a custom flight option. So you could leave both doors open. It's not a problem at all.
Inshallah. Stop screen share. I will share this in the Zoom chat itself, so people can have access to it. And do save it. Do have a look at it. Do that now before I forget. And then there's another question here. How thinking about logging in? There was a few questions about logging in. How early should people be logging in? If you could just remind us of that.
Yeah, so I would say, to be honest with you, based on what we had in phase one, and again, I expect the unexpected. I would say as early as possible. I would say at least like 2 or 3 hours before, because as you can imagine, everyone has heard people logged in early and they managed to go through and make their purchase. So naturally, everyone's going to be trying the same thing. So just, try and log in as early as possible, open up as many windows as possible. So you're logged in, keep an eye on, so when the time comes, look at where you can actually go through the process and log in. Once you logged in, close the other windows and continue going through the process, inshallah. I know, like I say, a number of our Hujjaj who booked, and also people that we know, did that, and alhamdulillah, they managed to get through. They were, sometimes they did even get logged out, but because they were already on that through the queue system, then the IP was through the queue system, however, they were able to go straight back into the login page and log in, and go through the process quite easily, basically. So you just keep that in mind, and inshallah. But there's no fixed time at this stage that we can give you that. Yeah, make sure you log in at this time or that time. Yeah.
Allah, jazakallah khairan. Someone's saying that they can, Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum salam. They can only see Umrah packages in the Nusuk. I think you picked the wrong Nusuk website. If you choose Nusuk Hajj, if you Google Nusuk Hajj, it's a different portal just for the Hajj process. And then there's the one for Umrah, which then you can do the Rawda, you can do your Tawaf, and that's a
Exactly.
different portal. So they've separated it, and I'm glad they have. So then it's got so much traffic, and they do the Hajj one on its own. So double check that, Google it, and you should be able to find Nusuk Hajj. I've got 1,369 riyal more than my expensive package, I'm assuming. Is that sufficient for two people?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I would say if you, as long as you've got about £100, and you've got per person more, that should be sufficient, inshallah ta'ala, which is £500. Again, once you see, obviously you'll look at your configured package, etc., and then you'll make sure that you can get to that phase, basically, inshallah. So as long as it's more than your most, that when you go to configuration and you decide on your package, that will determine it. But as long as that is the same package that you're going to stick to, then that's absolutely fine, inshallah. Yeah.
Inshallah. There are a few people that are asking about, and I'll come back to that. They're asking about how many spaces are left on which package. We will share that slides with you so you can see which package had how many spaces. Some of them have 25 plus, and have 40 plus, and we'll share that with you so you can see. Then you're sitting there, you're looking at your packages, you configure them, the custom flights. You now have this spreadsheet as well that we just showed you with the amount of group flight spaces, so you can pick and choose in the right way. Whilst we have the time, alhamdulillah, whilst we have the time, they haven't announced any phases just yet. But whilst we have the time, it's good that we will share that with you. A question here is Zone C, is it too far? They've seen some Rawaf packages that are applicable to these days. They need to do due to work. Will it be too far from the Kaaba due to the amount of people there and movement during Hajj time? Will it harder to get closer to? So A, B, but Zone C now.
Yeah, so the different zones have, this different advantages and disadvantages. So normally, if you go to zone C and you're going to be there for the duration of your package, first of all, your package will be much cheaper, because you're further away from the Kaaba, you're further away from the most expensive part of Mecca at that period. So it won't be, and definitely there will be travel to the Haram and back. If you want to go back and forth from the Haram, you will have to, utilize taxis or whatever to get there, and that'll incur some level of cost, and also incur time, basically. It's just weighing up now with what's left over, what my restrictions are. So if you're restricted by dates and so on, then sometimes you'll have to make this choice of putting up with some of this hardship to get to accommodate for the other kind of restrictions that you've got, basically, inshallah. Yeah, but zone C is further. Normally, what we recommend is a package where you are near the Haram at some time, and then during the days of Hajj, you're close to Mina, basically. That's what we recommend, because that allows you to have the Haram, where you're close to it and utilize it and, make the most of it, and then go to near Mina when you're in Mina period. So either go to the Haram before that period or after that period, but have, both. But I know, like, for example, I think it's the Rawaf, one of the ones with Novotel in it. It's a short package, so I think it's 11 days or something like this, or 12 days, but it's got Novotel. Novotel is slightly out, it's not very close to the Haram, and it's not very close to Mina either. It's a good hotel. We used it as an overflow package last year, one of the hotels for our overflow package, and people stayed there. As I said, the hotel was very good, and they managed to go to and from the Haram and do everything that they needed to do. But it's not as convenient as the others. It's about conveniency rather than is it possible or not possible to get to the Haram and so on. So if you want something which is very convenient and close to the Haram, pick a package which is very close to the haram. If you want something which is, with certain dates or cheaper, then you'll have to go for something like that with the Rawaf packages.
Um, okay, I'm looking at some of the packages with the same criteria, i.e. luxury non-shift and a zone A, and the prices are between 30 to 60k real. Why is there such a large difference between these packages? I can't tell from the package itself. They're all five-star hotels.
So yeah, so the main thing, yeah, so obviously even within hotels, there's a range of prices basically. Yeah. So if you're going for the branded, top-notch hotels, for example, then you'll have, then the price will be much higher. It will be much higher. If you're going for a hotel which is next to the haram, but it's not, for example, in the clock towers directly in front of the haram, then it will be, a different price. If you got a hotel which is non-shifting, so it's available for you for the whole period of Hajj as well, that'll be more expensive. If you got a hotel where, you're there before that period or after that period, then it's slightly cheaper. So, the prices differ based on, the actual hotel and also the location, the time when you're at that particular hotel. So this kind of stuff, if you want to, because it's difficult to kind of make, give precise information without knowing, okay, which package are you talking about, which hotel are you speaking about, and then we're able to give, so maybe it's better to just contact us directly, that we can give more information with information on the actual package itself. Yep.
Inshallah. So talking about, with securing a package, the chances of securing a double room after booking, is it still possible to do that after the booking to secure a double room?
Yes, so yeah, so like we mentioned before previously, and we'll say again that what will happen is once you've managed to secure your package, you'll contact us. We'll contact Rawaf on your behalf, and we'll say this person's requesting a double room upgrade. Rawaf will then look at their inventory, how much what they've got left, and they'll offer you an upgrade. If they haven't got inventory, they will contact the hotel and ask them, if they can, what the cost will be to upgrade a particular, and they will give you that information. And then, if you're interested, you will be able to make payment to them and they will upgrade you to the double room, inshallah ta'ala. Yeah. And last year, like we say, alhamdulillah, everyone who requested it was upgraded, were able to purchase and do the upgrade.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khairan. When you say check regularly, does that mean sometimes randomly? And we mentioned this, if we could touch back on this, that randomly between now and phase two, that some package will be available to purchase.
Yes, yeah, exactly that. Yeah, so some people will cancel. If someone cancels, suddenly that package becomes available, and you're able to, not that package, that place becomes available, and suddenly you'll see, the purchase button just turn up again, and you're able to buy. So remember that the thing that's run out is not packages as such, maybe a few packages, but generally the thing that's run out is our country quota. So the UK had 300,800 visas, all 3,800 have now sold out basically.
For phase one.
Phase one allocation, yeah. What will happen is if someone cancels, suddenly now they've sold 3,799 rather than 3,800. So that one place is now, one visa is now available to repurchase as part of phase one, basically. So that's what we mean by that. So sometimes you log in, last year there was one phase where in Ramadan, a brother, he put in the group that, he logged in, just in the middle of the night, he came, I don't know, yes, he logged in and he just purchased, it was like a Ajib thing. And then obviously everyone else is logging in and saying, no, there's nothing of it. But, it's just qadar, it's really qadar. But so we say to people, look, just try. At the end of the day, people, do get the opportunity does come. Every day Rawaf's telling us that, oh, someone just purchased, and not necessarily from the UK. It could be from Hong Kong, it could be from America, it could be from anywhere. But meaning that someone's canceling somewhere, and then that, so remember, if someone cancels America, that goes to the American quota for phase one, basically. So that means that, someone in America will be able to book. If someone cancels from the UK, then someone, one of us will be able to book, inshallah. Yeah.
Inshallah. There are rumors that there's a phase 1.1 on Friday, which is tomorrow.
Yeah, like I said, there's lots and lots of rumors. We really don't know. Nothing official, nothing confirmed. So yeah, just wait for any confirmed information.
No confirm. No. Because they normally announce it at least. I don't think they announced it less than 2 days beforehand. That's what they said.
Last year, I think one of the phases they suddenly done a quick one. So not like I mean 24 hours or something like that basically. So it's
Yeah.
possible, but like if it was going to be tomorrow morning, I'm sure they would have announced it by now basically. But like we say, as soon as we know, we will announce it, and the internet will go crazy or WhatsApp will go crazy on it anyway. So everyone will find out, inshallah.
And we're not so far, as you mentioned before, we're not so far in the times as right now they should be sleeping. So team it'll be midnight for them. So they're not going to announce something right now itself. But do check, when you wake up in the morning for Fajr, and we'll announce it. And as you said, your phone will go crazy anyway when the message is happening and things are open. Um, in terms of the numbers that are left, some people are asking questions. I know we gave a range like 25 plus or 50 plus or 10. How accurate is it? What numbers should it take?
Yeah, so these numbers we're getting from Rawaf daily. So for example, imagine now on 101, they said there was 20 places left, and then someone cancelled in Hong Kong, and someone bought that one place of 101 basically. So now suddenly there's 19 places left. So daily they're giving us updates on numbers of packages that are left basically. That okay, look, these are the packages that are left, and that's the numbers that we're updating on the group. So just keep an eye on the group. If there's any major changes, like if there's one or two from 100 packages that are left, we will not really update on that. But if there's, for example, 25 has gone to 20, then we'll say, look, now this is 20 places left on this. So it's something to consider when you're choosing your package, inshallah. Yep.
Inshallah. You mentioned something in the webinar and your slides itself is once if you manage to secure package, inshallah, when you manage to secure package, husnul dhan, like Sheikh Fari said, husnul dhan, when you manage to secure package, helping others to secure a package. So if you just
very good opportunity, very good. It worked very well, and also it's a very good opportunity for people to get extra ajr, inshallah. So what happens is, so imagine Shafiq in the queue, he gets in the queue early, and mashallah, he manages to secure his package. Soon as he's secured his package, if he puts a message on the group saying, "Guys, I've secured my package. If you want, I can try and log in for you." He will then just open up another window. Like we said, because the IP address has gone past the queue system, it's already in Nusuk, that thing. So I will then contact him, obviously not in the group, but in a private message saying, if you can try and purchase for me. Obviously now I'm handing over my username and password to him. Now, for him to do anything to my account, he needs the OTP obviously to log in. So even after that, I can change my password and so on. But if I feel confident and comfortable doing this, I will give him my username and password. He will log in. I will give him the OTP. The OTP will come to me. I'll give him the OTP. And then he will say to me, look, do you want me to purchase this package? If I say, yeah, he'll go to the basket and, he'll do the purchase for me. Now, this is, obviously this isn't the official Nusuk way of doing it. They would probably say to you, don't do it. You're handing over your information. But when we're measuring it, we're looking at actually, for those who did it, it worked. Alhamdulillah. We never came across any situations where it was a problem. The maximum a person can do is purchase the wrong package for you. And even then you've got 72 hours to refund it. So it's not really a problem from that angle. And then once they've gone through that process, you can log them out and change your password if you need to. And they can't log in without your OTP anyway. So from all angles, you're kind of protected, inshallah. So it's not, but obviously do it with someone who's on the group. Don't just randomly pick someone from anywhere and just start sending them all your details. Obviously someone who's on one of our groups, and is probably a safe bet to do, inshallah.
Yeah, a quite specific question here. Someone is got only 10 to 13 days. They're finding it difficult to find which package to go with, but they only got 10 to 13-day window to do the Hajj.
Yeah, I think someone asked a question on the group, and I sent I think there was two packages that we recommended.
Yeah, here there is, even in the spreadsheet,
408, I think, and
There's an 11-day, which is the Tilal Express, the 102.
Yeah, that one's I think is sold out. Is it not?
Or there's the 161 Marriott, which is a 13-day package.
Yeah, I think there's a 161 and there's also the four, just check it. The 308, the Novotel Express is and there's got 58 places left on it. And the other one was
There's
Marriott.
also 56 group flights spaces on that as well.
Yeah, so there's
308.
there's a few. Yeah.
Khair,
The Rawaf 101 has got over 100 packages remaining. I don't think we've put that in our thing, so just keep that in mind. That's probably one of the highest in terms of the luxury packages that I've seen in terms of availability. The Rawaf 101 Marriott.
um, okay, does configuring a new package or choosing a custom flight limit how long a package may be available? Could the package sell out whilst you're still configuring?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, can do. Yeah, and previously that was a huge problem because that process of picking a custom flight was quite buggy and took a long time, etc. But this year, people found it was very quick. It was actually very quick. They were just going in, just pressing the buttons, and they were able to do it. So I think there's a few factors to consider in that. One is how early you manage to log in, on that day. The earlier you log in, like meaning that you get into Nusuk basically. Obviously, the earlier you log in, the more chances are of you having because you've got about 40 minutes. I'll say 42 minutes to an hour, before the allocation runs out. So if the earlier you log in, the more chances you've got of looking at custom flights and so on. If you log in late, then you just want to get whatever's there and get your place secured.
Yeah. The couple of questions here. Good question. Going back onto the Qurbani. Do we book it through Nusuk? And the second question is quite an interesting one.
Yeah.
Go on, you can answer the Qurbani one first. Yeah, go
No,
on.
carry on.
So the second question is that will there be enough guides and scholars coming with these Rawaf packages? Do we know the scholars that might attend with your packages?
Yeah, so there will definitely be enough guides. So Rawaf allocate at least 45 for every 45 people, one guide at least, on the packages. And one of the Sheikh Farid is going to be one of our scholars who's there throughout inshallah, helping our packages and so on, inshallah ta'ala. Yeah.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
Um,
With all this stuff, at the end, brothers and sisters, the reality is that Nusuk decides stuff, Rawaf decides stuff. We go on what we're told. We support what we can do. But Rawaf has told us that they will have a guide for every 45 people, and last year they had a guide for every 45 people in each coach. They had a guide, and they had a number of scholars that were around last year as well. So I think we shouldn't have a problem, inshallah.
inshallah. So, just like Rihlat support 4 packages, now 5, right? 5, 6.
Yeah.
So who supports other Rawaf packages, please?
Yeah. So okay. So good. So like I just mentioned, Rawaf have guides, based in the UK and based in other countries that will join different packages and will be allocated by Rawaf to different packages basically. In terms of so there's 2 levels of guidance. One is who tells you are the coaches here, get on this coach, we're gonna go, etc. That guidance, Rawaf themselves have staff that are there to do that, and also you'll have a guide with each package that will, keep you updated and make sure that you understand what's happening next and when that'll be happening. Then you've got what we call the Hajj journey guide, so how to do certain things, how to make sure you're doing it correctly, etc., etc. So long as you're on a Rawaf package, you can join us for that. And Sheikh Fareed will be one of the guys who'll be, leading that and making sure that that happens. So as long as you're on the Rawaf package, so it doesn't mean we're going to be with you at each hotel, but what we'll do is we'll make sure that you're guided in the process of doing Hajj, how to do it, and also we'll, if you select the RG4 code when Rawaf asks you 5737, when Rawaf asks you who do you want to be guided by, basically, then even in Mina and the Mashair time, we can ask for you to be put with us, and therefore you'll get all the lectures and you'll get all the guidance during them days, 6 days of Hajj as well, inshallah ta'ala, throughout the journey. Yeah?
There's a differentiation between a logistics guide and a spiritual guide to help you with the Hajj itself. So we have a logistics guide that will help you to get from A, B, but what to do, how to do it, the du'as, the process, the fiqh of it. Then it's a spiritual guide. We've got Sheikh Farid, inshallah, that's coming with us.
Yeah.
And you want to be part of that journey, then you need to use 5737, RG-5737 to be part.
Exactly that, yeah. A book with Rawaf
Oh,
is 5737, yeah.
Yeah, regardless of which Rawaf package you choose, you can
Yeah.
still be part of our
That's right, yeah.
process in there, inshallah. A lot of questions that people are asking about how many spaces left on the other packages. We will share that. Just a reminder, we will share that. If it's not a Rawaf package, if someone chooses non-Rawaf package,
Yeah.
how is it going to be harder for them to be guided by our team?
Yes, then it becomes very difficult for us here to do it. Because what happens is, even like, for example, in Mina, the Rawaf have their tents to, like, each company has their allocations together, they have them in the right, in the same place, etc. But so if you're not a part of that, then it becomes much more difficult. We can liaise with Rawaf, we can't liaise with, for example, Al Bayt or the other groups, Raji and so on, that to work out where you are, what's going on, etc. How can we get access to them and how they can act. For example, when we take our group on ziyarah, if you're in the same, like in Medina at the same time or in Makkah at the same time, we can say to Rawaf, oh, we want, these Hujjaj want to join us on it. They'll say no problem, because they're paying for you as Hujjaj to be on there. But if we say, oh, we've got Hujjaj that are outside of Rawaf want to join, then they won't do that. They'll prioritize their Hujjaj who are booked with Rawaf, obviously, to take them along the journey. Yep.
Jazakallah khairan. Those are pretty much the questions we have. Is the data on the dashboard live data or from a spreadsheet? Live data, right?
Yeah.
Data.
It says live in that they update it regularly, basically. Yeah.
If a package is not a Rawaf package, are you able to tell us how many spaces?
No.
We're not. They're a whole different system, all different companies. Do we know who are supporting the other Rawaf packages? I mean, we're supporting our 5, and if you wanted to be part of our group, then
We've spoken about that, yeah. So yes,
Yeah.
that there'll be other guides who will be supporting different packages. Yeah.
inshallah. And how many spaces, and the 308. That's pretty much the questions that we had, alhamdulillah. I mean, there are questions from the Q&A. There are a couple of questions in the chat. Do we know when packages will be configurable for phase 2? It seems that no packages are not configurable yet.
Yeah. No, we don't know yet. Yeah.
We don't know yet, so they're still sorting out the Nusuk system themselves.
Exactly.
It was mentioned another group that Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. It was mentioned another group that no other airline apart from Saudi Airlines will be able to land during Hajj. Is that the case?
No, that's not the case. So what happens is, until the 22nd, I believe it's the 22nd, at 3 a.m. on the 22nd, non-Saudi carriers, so not just Saudi Airlines, but they've got 2 or 3 different carriers from Saudi-based carriers, can enter the country. So until the I think it's the 22nd at 3 a.m. or something like this, you have to enter the country with them by that time. And then for Saudi Airlines, they extend, or Saudi companies, they extend that till the 24th. I think it's the 24th of May that they extend it to. So, but I think when you book on custom flights, it shouldn't allow you to book outside of that region anyway. If it's if it's an un-Saudi, it won't allow you to. If it's a Saudi, or it shouldn't allow you to basically. Yeah.
Inshallah.
We can send you the exact dates and times, on the group. We can post that on the group, inshallah. That, what's for those booking custom flights, what's the deadlines for entering the country? Yeah, just in case. Yeah.
Yeah, so a reminder to everybody, I think we've pretty much run through all the questions. Just a reminder to everybody is that, look, if you've got questions you want to discuss with us, call us. That's the best way you can get through to us. Somebody from the team will pick up the phone. If there's one on the line, there's be another person that will be available. There's the group chat that you can share messages there about your packages and so on and so forth. But there's also an announcement group. That's where it's a one-way communication. We announce clear information to you as to what's happening. We will share information in there. And the information that we share in there, it's checked, it's verified, it's not from rumors and so on and so forth. It's actually clear information that we're giving that's cascaded from Nusuk, Rawaf, and to yourselves, inshallah. You can just reach out to us during the day if you want to have a chat about the particular package, how to do the system. And we also have perhaps someone's joined us for the first time. We also have webinars that we've done pre-recorded about previous packages, going through them in detail. We're more than happy to share the link with you. They're on YouTube in that sense, where we've got the link, and then you can just skip through to parts that you think you want to go back and forth. You want to look at packages to see whether it fits yourself or anybody else that asks it for that matter. So all the information we're happy to share with you, because it's just being prepared as much as you can for phase 2, inshallah. That's pretty much from my side. Is there any closing remarks from yourself, Yunus, or Sheikh Farid, who's still in the background? If you have any closing remarks?
Nothing for me. Jazakallah khair. I'll let Sheikh Farid say a few words.
Sheikh Farid is still there. I think Sheikh Farid might have left.
No, I'm here. I'm listening to the questions. No, alhamdulillah, just dua is key, and it's all part of ubudiyah of Allah, savage to Allah. Allah Jalala, is looking at you all, and is inshallah pleased with you all for your attempt to pay homage to His house and get close to Him. So, sincerity. A person never loses out before Allah, whatever the outcome is in this dunya. Never forget that. Yeah, Allah bless you all and give us all tawfiq, inshallah, to visit His house. Ya Rabbal Alameen.
Jazakumullah khairan, Sheikh, and Jazakallah khairan everybody who's been with us. And inshallah, we will keep you up to date, and you can always contact us. Inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan.
Yeah, perfect. Salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay.